You can ask this tool anything from prevention issues. What age should I talk to my child about pornography? How do I talk to my child about pornography? What do I do if my 15-year-old, I found nudes on their phone? How do I handle it? Who do I call? My child is being asked for money on their phone because they sent nude images. What do I do? How do I get nude images off? Someone put images of my child up. I can't get them down. All of these questions, you can get all of that advice as well. So it
Whoa.
runs the gamut. It's a one-stop shop.
And guess what? It is available to you for free. You can use it right now, a lifeline for parents. Finally, some help in the world of tech and our kids. And a mom in Gilbert helped create it. We discussed this new tool that every mom, every dad, aunt, uncle, grandparent, teacher, friend needs to know about right now on MOMCAST. Welcome to MOMCAST. I'm Emma Jade. I know we all turn to ChatGPT when we feel like we don't have the answers. But when dealing with our kids in trouble that they will, and yes, they will face at some point online, imagine turning to a panel of experts. Not just the abyss of the internet that you get on ChatGPT. No, there is a new free tool that does just that. An AI that helps parents find answers, real answers, researched answers to the most sensitive subjects, finding solutions to pull our kids out of the depth of online harassment, pornography, bullying, even a place to help us set up parameters on our devices so it never gets that far. Today on MOMCAST, I'm sitting down with a local mom. Grew up right here in Arizona. She raised her kids here in Arizona too. Her name is Jill Geigel. She helped build this AI.
As I started having children, I started working with an organization called the National Center on Sexual Exploitation because I have a lot of children and I was really passionate about protecting them and making sure that they were living in a safe world. And the internet was really starting to take off when I was having kids. And I could see that this was going to be a really difficult place to navigate and to try to protect them on. And so I got involved with this organization that was really working most specifically on Capitol Hill and in the courtrooms, trying to shape policy and laws to help protect kids online. And so I've worked with them and really, it's really an uphill battle because we're fighting against big tech and some of the other people and organizations that have a lot of money and they care less about our kids and more about their bottom line. A few years ago, this organization, the National Center on Sexual Exploitation, asked me to come on and build something that would actually help parents in their homes on the front line. Because we've been in Capitol Hill, the courtrooms, but parents were just struggling so much, overwhelmed and tired, and didn't know where to turn. And so we decided we needed something that would make parenting easier. And so I was brought on and started working on this really fun project called the Parent Center that I'm passionate about because it helps parents and doesn't give them more to do, doesn't give them more to learn, doesn't give them extra things or places to go. It just makes parenting in this digital crazy world a little bit easier.
How? What does this tool do?
So the Parent Center took a few years to create a safe AI tool, a place where we put all of our most trusted resources into a data lake, I would say. And we have vetted and built an AI that goes in and can answer any parent's question regarding internet safety, online sexual exploitation, conversations they can have with their kids. I mean, there are so many different apps, different gaming consoles, different pieces of technology, different devices. Parents can't figure out how to stay safe on all of those. Setting parental controls, knowing which ones are good. I mean, I can't even keep up with them all, and I do this for a living. I do this every day. But the AI can. The AI can keep up with everything out there. So you can come onto this tool at parentcenter.org and ask, hey, my child wants Snapchat. What is safe about it? What is dangerous about it? How do I set parental controls? And it'll just walk you right through how to handle it, give you a safe, trusted opinion on the technology, and then walk you through the steps to put on the parental controls or whatever you're asking.
We've talked about, right, we've had these conversations before about the work that you're doing. And I remember something that's just struck me to the core. And that was, yes, an iPhone does have, like, you can lock it down, but it took, I think it was over 35 steps to
That's
make
right.
the iPhone safe for my child. Why? Why on earth? Because at that point, after the 10th step, you're over it. You're over it by then, and parents
Yeah. Oh,
give
yeah.
up. They give
Yeah.
up or they just don't know. Why why are we given these devices like that? How does that make any sense?
The technology was developed not for child safety in mind.
Yeah.
And that's the bottom line. They don't care.
No.
They want their bottom line to be successful. And so what they've created is just something that isn't child safe or parent friendly. And they purposefully even change it because even if you do go through those 35 steps, they'll change after the next update. So then you have to get back on, reconfigure, put them back on, and that's only one device. That's only
Yes.
one device. So, and the amount of time and devices that our kids are on, from school to friends' houses to your own home, is so many. And so parents just needed something that could actually help them.
So we're going to put this AI to the test. After the break, you're not going to believe the questions this tool can answer for you. That's coming up. You're watching MOMCAST.
MOMCAST is sponsored by Moxie Pest Control, protecting what matters most.
It's really interesting because I feel like a lot of the conversations that we're having now are kind of complaining about tech. We complain about how my kid loves Roblox, but it's just so not safe. We're not doing anything about it, but we're complaining about it.
Right.
My kids, they communicate with all their friends. Everyone's on Snapchat. We complain, but no one's doing anything about it because everyone's on Snapchat. But I feel like this step that you're giving to parents helps us while big tech is kind of figuring out there's so many court cases and things that are going on. At least we have something that we can rely on where we can start to make a change. Is that what you're hoping with this new AI tool?
Absolutely. I mean, the AI tool is just one piece of the parent center, and it's an important piece because parents can come on and actually, I mean, some of my favorite features of the AI tool are you can say, my 15-year-old daughter is begging me for Snapchat again. What do I tell her? And you can have a conversation. It'll give you some conversations and some points that you can bring up with your 15-year-old daughter. I mean, I do this all the time because she is regularly asking me for Snapchat and I'm regularly not giving it to her. And so I'm like, I need a new way to say no. Help me out. So the conversations that are embedded in are really important. But one of the things that I love about the Parent Center is that if you go to theparentcenter.org, you can join the Parent Center, you can join the 7 Minute Club, and you'll get a 7 minute podcast delivered to you every week. And it'll give you one action item, one thing to do that is not going to be overwhelming. And it might be something in your home. It might say, have this conversation with your child. It might be something in your school. Send an email to your principal and ask this about the technology. It might be something bigger, maybe in your community, like here's a link to your senator's email. Please email them and ask this. Because we have been trained as parents to be actionless in this area, how can we take on big tech? Like it's it's too hard, you know?
Totally.
And so the AI tool is going to give us on the ground help in conversations and technology safety. But then the Parent Center also brings this place where parents can have a voice and make a difference and do some small things that will make big change.
How do I start conversations with my kids about tech and reasons for delaying it? What do those sound like? I mean, I know that you have it all set up there now, but what does that conversation sound like for me if I'm just getting started here?
So depends on the age
Uh-huh.
of your child. But a lot of it is just teaching what is actually going on with their brains and with the technology and what the tech companies are trying to do. You know, kids can understand. They understand, at the right age, dopamine, and they feel that addiction. They feel it of, I have to touch my phone. I have to pick up my phone. I have to be on. And so you start giving them information that can really empower them to see, look, it's not me versus you. It's not the parent versus the child. This is big tech trying to take advantage of both of us and our relationship. Now, does that make it easy? No. They hear it. They hear it, but it still just takes that steady parent that just keeps telling them, hey, I care more about you and your brain and your emotions than I do about big tech and their bottom line. So let's just keep working together at this.
You've been part of this for years now, fighting big tech, pushing back on technology. Does it feel like recently you guys have really been able to move the needle? Do you feel like there's some movement here in the direction towards helping our kids, putting up more safeguards?
Yes, actually, there has been some good change. And you mentioned some of the court cases that have just recently happened in California and New Mexico. There's been some big rulings against big tech. These are just the beginning, but it was a crack, a little crack in their armor. And one of them was hundreds of millions of dollars, and one was millions of dollars in favor of children, and that they'd been harmed by predators on Meta, and that they'd been shown that these platforms were being addictive to them. Now, these cases they'll be appealed and there'll be more battles because big tech has endless money to fight this. But that was a really big moment for us just in the past, I think, month or two that those rulings came down. Because if parents were able to sue big tech and recover the damages that have been done to their children, it would change big tech's bottom line. They would start changing.
Right.
So we're excited. That's a really big development for us.
I feel like it's so frustrating because all of us as parents, we know at this point that having our kids be on social media too young is not good for them. Even having them do group chats. Like there's research out there that shows like they shouldn't even be doing group chats, all of these
Right.
things. But
Right.
parents continue to let their kids do it.
I
You
know.
must just want to hit your head against the wall with everything that you know and all the research that you know. How do you convey to parents the change that we need to start making? Can we put the toothpaste back in the tube?
One of the biggest problems with the internet and social media specifically is that it's a social addiction. And so for teenagers and for kids especially, to be left out of that, it almost feels like they are, it's so physically hurting to them to not be in that group. And so I really feel for parents in this situation. I'm in this situation, right? It is really hard. Um, but I've heard of a lot of parents, I mean, and the pendulum swinging back, who will get a group of parents together in their neighborhood or in their schools and say, hey, we're off social media. Let's just make a pact and let's get everybody off of it. It does take a lot, but I think um, what I would say is I don't try to tell every parent, hey, You've got to get everything, get the toothpaste back in the tube by yourself.
Our conversation continues right after this break. You're watching MOMCAST.
MOMCAST is sponsored by Moxie Pest Control, protecting what matters most.
Start being really aware of what your child is doing on their phone, how much time they're spending on their phone, where they're using their phone, and then start having the conversations and being a part of your child's life in it so that the big, really dangerous consequences that are out there, that you can stop those, and that you might lose some of the battles, the small battles, but the big ones, you're there.
I mean, in a perfect world with where we're at in technology, if you could give someone advice on like, if you can just do this with your kids, this will be a recipe for success and having a good relationship with technology, what would that look like to you?
It's a hard question because the topic is so complex and every household is different, right? Every household is different. But there's three things that I tell parents all the time. You need to make sure that you have a good relationship with your child. Start with relationship. It doesn't mean perfect, but it means functioning. Interact with them, do things with them in real life, not on the phone. And then the second thing I say is communication. Communicating about what's going on in their digital life should be a daily part of your life. It shouldn't be once a month or never. Talking to them about the dangers, reminding them about what's going on, sharing with them, oh, today I had a problem. As much as I can, I'll tell them I was on my phone too much or something came up that made me feel really uncomfortable. I try to share that with them, and we have, daily communication about this topic to just try to keep it open, because it's so hard for kids to really confide in their parents. But those two things, relationship, communication, and the third one I say is that safety element is really doing your very best to monitor, put the right filters, the right parental controls, to keep the worst away from them. And it's a hard combination. Those three are a hard combination because it's not one easy switch that you can say, hey, do this one thing and you're in a good place. But those three things together, if you just keep kind of working those three things, and if there's a problem, because there's going to be,
Yes.
I always tell that to parents, that when the principal calls and says, your child's been looking at inappropriate stuff on the Chromebook, don't freak out. Just go to them, talk to them like a normal person, don't get too upset, keep the anger down, and then in your mind, think, okay, where's my relationship? Where's my communication? And where's my safety? Like, what isn't kind of dialed up to where it needs to be in this situation? And then change it for the next time.
This AI tool, how can I use it? Is it free for me to use? Where do I go? What kind of questions can I ask?
All you have to do is go to parentcenter.org. The tool is right there on the front of the page. Ask me any question. It is free. It's free on that website. And you can ask this tool anything from prevention issues. What age should I talk to my child about pornography? To how do I talk to my child about pornography?
Yes.
What do I do if my 15-year-old, I found nudes on their phone? How do I handle it? Who do I call? My child is being asked for money on their phone because they sent nude images. What do I do? Who do I call? How do I get nude images off? Someone put images of my child up. I can't get them down. All of these questions, and then everything from parental controls on any device or app or anything. You can get all of that advice as well. So it runs the gamut. It's a one-stop shop, and it gives you the very best answers. I mean, some people say, well, I can do that on GPT, right?
Yeah.
The difference is you are going to get any answer out there. Anything that's on the internet, that's what you're going to get for an answer. What we've done is put trusted, curated, vetted sources that are going to give you the best developmental answers for your children and legal answers. I mean, it's not an attorney, but places to turn for help with scary questions of which law enforcement do I talk to? How do I report this? Like, we don't know how to do that as
No,
parents.
and we're just Googling it, or we saw a TikTok video of
Totally.
some security, whatever person talking about it. There isn't a one-stop shop, which
Right.
you would think with the tech coming out that would just come along with it.
I
Because when you
know.
set up anything, it comes with safety features or it comes with something. Tech has not.
I
Social
know.
media has not. But this is finally the tool that can actually help people. Oh my gosh, Jill, this is so needed. This is so neat. I
I
have
know.
1,000 questions I'm going to ask the second this interview is over. I'm not
Well,
kidding.
my favorite feature about this is what I tell parents. I love this for parents, but one of the best things, the best kept secret is parents aren't the only ones who can use it. So if you want to have a really meaningful conversation with your teenager, you can go to them and say, hey, you know, it's tough on the internet, and sometimes we make some mistakes. And if you're ever in a place that you can't talk to me, although I would love you to come and talk to me, but if you're ever in a place that you can't talk to me, please go onto this AI and ask it the question that you need to have, because there are just some times when teens are in a place and they're scared and afraid and they cannot go to their parents and ask. But if they have something like this AI that they can text and say, what do I do? Someone is asking me for money. And the AI can just walk them through simple, safe steps and help them to feel safe and not to make some of those really harmful decisions that are tragic. I love that about this AI, and I would love parents to have that little conversation as well.
Oh my gosh, I'm going to bookmark it the second that I get onto my devices. It's fantastic. Thank you so much. I know you're doing so much work. Anything else on the horizon from you guys?
We're just getting the word out on this.
Okay, I love
Get the
it.
parent center out there.
And as you heard, parentcenter.org is completely free for you, for your family, your friends, anyone to use. Any question, doesn't matter. I want to thank you for watching this episode of MomCast. I really hope this helps. I'm Emma Jade. We'll see you next week.
MOMCAST is sponsored by Moxie Pest Control, protecting what matters most.